Alright, so I know I said in my review that I wasn't going to do a separate video talking about Gawain, but I lied.
Squidward.
I hope you guys can forgive me, but I did lie. Now, I did want to talk about kind of just everything involving what we know about Gawain right now and kind of where she could potentially come from and like what her powers could be or how everything could kind of go along those lines. Obviously, we don't know since we just got the character revealed. Like, we don't have anything 100%, but this video is just kind of speculate and get everything out there. So, one thing I do want to touch on immediately before we talk about that is I'm personally hyped for the Gawain reveal. Like, personally, I think it's dope. Mean another female character, and then potentially a lot of these Escanor vibes coming along with it. I'm personally hyped for it. I know there are some people that are like kind of about it, like, oh man, another Escanor, or oh man, she's not going to be as good. That is one thing I'm kind of worried about, is that she may be constantly compared to Escanor, depending on how close Nakaba decides to make their character. But I mean, for me right now, I'm pumped up about it. I mean, I don't really, it's not a problem for me. Now, one of the biggest things about Gawain would be what her ability is. Now, a lot of people are speculating that it is Sunshine for good reason. Now, me personally, before this last chapter, I wasn't really on the train of Gawain having Sunshine. But after this chapter, I'm leaning heavily, like I mean leaning heavily towards Gawain having Sunshine, just because of the very last panel. She says she is the master of the sun. This is a direct parallel, like I mean a direct parallel from chapter 150 of Seven Deadly Sins. I'll show it, you guys can see it. But chapter 150 of Seven Deadly Sins, which is the chapter after Escanor defeats Galand. The chapter's titled Master of the Sun. Like, so it's literally like a one for one in terms of wording. Granted, one's a chapter title and one's a character's words, but I mean, you can't ignore that parallel. Like, at least I can't. I feel like that's just like solidifies it. There's like no way that she doesn't have Sunshine to some capacity, or like I was saying, some type of Sunshine adjacent ability. Now, as for her controller capability with it, I'm very curious, because I know one of the big things with Escanor is he was born weak. Like, he had a weak body and he got Sunshine, and it made him like immensely more powerful over the course of the day. One of the things was his weak body couldn't naturally handle how powerful that grace was, or that ability was, which is why when Mao was using Sunshine, he's of the Goddess clan, a strong, like one of the strongest members of the Goddess clan, so his body was naturally way stronger than Escanor's, so he could handle the ability a lot better. And honestly, I know this is a really contentious topic, but there's a lot of evidence and argument that Mal was stronger than Escanor, depending on how you want to look at the scaling with, like, the one or the ultimate one against the Demon King. But I'm not going to get too deep into that in this video. But for Gawain, she may fall somewhere in between, where her body might not necessarily be as weak as Escanor's was. Like, she might not be starting from exactly zero, but I don't know if her body would be necessarily as strong as, say, like, one of the strongest Goddess Clan members, such as Mao. So I feel like she might fall in the middle in terms of that. So that could put her on a path to potentially be stronger than Escanor, which would be hyped to see. Now, as for another thing that was like a big thing that I really want to delve more into, would be like her origins, because in the Arthurian legends, or the Arthurian lore, Gawain is Arthur's nephew, and then as we see, Gawain in Four Knights is a girl, so obviously cannot be a nephew. Now, we do know that Gawain is related to Arthur. It was said in the story, Tristan confirmed it. He told everybody that she is related to Arthur. Now, in terms of what capacity, we're not for sure, because it hasn't been stated yet, but I feel like Gawain being his niece would still make sense. Like, I feel like if you just shift over from nephew to niece, I feel like it could still make sense, because it could be one of those things where in the original story of Seven Deadly Sins, we didn't get any information on, like, or a lot of information on Arthur's like family and other things about him, but he could just have some unnamed family member that actually just did have a daughter, and that Arthur granted her this ability, or maybe Mayal did choose her. I know there's people that say that there is a sketch of Mayal saying, "Oh, you're the next Wielder of Sunshine." I haven't seen that sketch. I don't know where it is. If someone knows about this sketch or where to find this panel, please drop it in the please drop it in the comment section, like where it is, so I can read it or see it or look at it, because I own the volumes of Seven Deadly Sins. I can't see them, or at least I own the last, like I own the whole last bit of it. Like, I could grab it for you, like right behind me. You can see some of them. There's more of them in my closet, but you can kind of see some of them right there. They're like the white ones. But so I own the last half of it. and I did not see that sketch. I've recently reread it. I don't know where that sketch is. So please, if you know where it is, show me where Mao is passing on Sunshine so I can like talk about that. But could be one of those where Mao did pass it on, or Arthur, like it's one of those where Mal, like I said, Mal could have passed it on, or say Arthur in more of his conquest could have somehow beaten and taken it from Mal. That one's kind of possible too. Just because we know Arthur is supposed to be a bad guy now, so I mean I see no reason why he wouldn't do that. Or one of those things, a whole another side piece where Mayao's one of those kind of guys where, based off of how his personality is, he kind of low key doesn't even feel like he deserves Sunshine after the whole Esterosa stuff. So he could have just freely gave it up on his own. That's totally possible too. One of my own personal theories that I have, and it's way far off. So if it's a little reaching, it's a little crazy, you're not on board with it, I get it. But my thing is, in the actual reveal, Gawain kind of looks like Merlin. Like she kind of, like to me, they seem just a little bit similar. So what if Merlin did something right to where she mixed like her own like her own like essence and like Escanor? Because I feel like she would have to have some samples of Escanor or something of him. You know what I mean? Like I feel like she would have to have some type of information on him and how he was, and she somehow made like a person, like be it a doll or an actual human. I don't feel like that's outside of the realm of Merlin's capabilities. Now, I feel like Gawain being a doll would be very interesting because I know there's a lot of people that are like saying that, oh, maybe Gawain can turn into a guy and turn into a girl. But I feel like if she was a doll, it would make a lot of sense because then it would kind of be she's both at the same time, similar to Gother. So we get like that spiritual successor to Gother in a way, as well as like this Escanor and Merlin kind of influence at the same time. So I feel like it would hit a lot of like notes all at once if this one was true. And then since Gawain would have been created by Merlin in this instance, in this exact theory, she would have been raised in Camelot. She would have been raised, just around Arthur all the time. She could have like been one of those things where, since they have a close relationship, referred to him as a uncle. That's totally a thing people do. Like, if there's some older person, oh yeah, that's my uncle, or oh, like Arthur's taking care of her as like a niece. Like, so they kind of have that kind of like family relationship just off of being around each other a lot. Like, and then from there, either Merlin created some type of, sunshine adjacent ability or sunshine ability, or like I said before, one of the instances with Mal could happen. I know that one's kind of crazy, but I kind of like that one just because of how many things that just because of how many things it does like incorporate from the previous series, and then kind of remix them and flip them and put them in this one. So that's kind of my theory on that. If you guys have any like exact theories or anything that you guys think is going on with Gawain, or where you think she's from, or how she got her ability, please let me know in the comments. I definitely want to talk about it just to kind of see where the community's head at. I mean, we're not even getting a chapter for Golden Week, so we have a lot of time to speculate before we get more information on Gawain. But aside from that, I'm obviously hyped to see where Nakaba does decide to go with Gawain, and her origins and her abilities and all that kind of thing. If she does have Sunshine, I'd be very interested to see like if it does follow a lot of the same rules as Escanor, where she does get stronger as the course of the day goes on and then weaker at nighttime, or if it's more along the lines of like Mao, where he's kind of just always really, really strong, like all the time, and just gets a little bit stronger during the day and a little bit weaker at night. Or actually, I don't even know if he gets a little bit weaker at night. That might actually be a cap. So I guess Mao's more of a consistent thing, whereas Escanor has like high peaks and like really low lows. So really just super interested to see where this all goes. I'm definitely hyped for it. But as I was saying, definitely let me know all that stuff down below in the comments. Make sure you guys like the video as well as subscribe to the channel for more content. That being said, you guys all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all in my next video.